First, we'll see the demonstration of Kamilla Juhász. She's a SMARTIZ participant, a high school student, and she will demonstrate how to develop a snake game from scratch. Come on, Kamilla. It's all yours.
First of all, let me thank you all for coming here today, and let me introduce myself. I'm Kamilla, one of the SMARTIZ girls. My partner and I choose a well-known and popular snake game for our project in the semester. For those of you who don't know this game, the player can control the snake in a limited field, and the snake eats food or collects some objects while trying to avoid its own tail and the slime lines. Firstly, I will introduce draw function, which includes two parts. Encoding a function is a set of statements that perform a task. Optionally, a function can have parameters. So this function can have two parts. One is responsible for the basic function of the snake, and the other half we find what happened in the snake's dice. Later we can control this with a statement, when only will work when the statement is false. Then the snake will work. The first and one of the most important function is draw snake, which includes the creation of the snake. Here we wrote the codes for the growth every time the snake eats the food. Initially it was just a square, but later we used arrays for it. Encoding an array is a collection in items or data. Snake control works with the A, W, S, and D keys, which we solved in the k-parest function. The heart of the game lies in the move snake function. Moving the snake was a difficult task, but it was the very important basis for the game. In the first half of the function, we started the array of the movement and the snake's head. So growth of the coordinates was also solved here. The snake's curves on which it can move is also here, since the condition here provides the framework for the game. If the condition is exceeded, the variable written in the draw function will be true, and the snake's death phases will terminate the game. In the move food function, we looked at the movement of food, but only if the snake's coordinates are equal to the coordinates of the food. Since we can easily imagine that the snake eats the food when it is in the same place as its head. Then the food will pop up elsewhere and rewrite the old coordinates. When the snake eats a food, we will have 10 more scores on the upper left corners, which was created using the draw scar function. The other way for the snake to die is when it collides with itself, and it is a condition in the snake death function. Here the condition is the same as in the move food function, so if the coordinates correspond to the variable, then it will be true and the snake will die. Death. The snake stops because the statement is true, so the one that makes the snake is no longer works. The game over text appears in the middle of the canvas. And a few were my personal experiences. We usually got twice a week together, and these sessions usually started as a little talking as a turn up. After that, we discussed what we want to do that day, but very often we confront that with the fact that we couldn't remember exactly what we wrote a few years earlier. So the first lesson was in the program everything worth giving a collegial and unambiguous name. So then we started paying attention to that and rewrote the old names, and that's when the point we made the next mistake. it took us a little while to find what we hadn't carried over the new name of one of the variables in the move snake function. The advantage, however, is that we have learned to look us for fault. We have returned the console log function of plenty of times. In addition to these, it was interesting experience let my technical mentor, my partner, and I found a solution which eventually deviated from her original idea. So it was always instructive to compare two in hindsight. Overall, I really enjoyed the whole process, and my mentors, the girls, and my teachers, open, kind, and helpful were. It was a great experience to watch what we imagined in our mind and wrote in the lines of the program come to life on the computer display. And I have 1 minute, so I would like to show my codes. You can in the screen, and when I start it, it really works. The snake can move in the field, and when it's reach the food, it grows. And of course, when it reached the slide lines, the snake dead. In the end, I would like to say my partner was Anna Vizi, and my mentors were Gábor Salamon and Fanny Madaraz. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you will enjoy the other programs today.